what you talking about, Coach? You know you my man. You know. All right, I'm Torrance Stennis, from Chicago. I live in Florida right now, and I went to high school at CVS. Yep. I played ball. I played ball in Kansas. I finished up my college academic career at Florida Memorial University. I played for Coach Mayden was from 1984 to 1987, and I decided that we would join the ranks and go over to South Shore, and there was Coach Mayden. And so that's how we met Coach Mayden, and we joined the ranks, man. We joined the ranks, and it was wonderful. Yeah, Coach May, Coach May was a great coach. You know, he for a lot of us, who the father figure was absent in the home. Coach Mayden was like a dad to us. He was like a dad to us. You know what I mean? If we did something wrong, he gonna tell us about it. You know what I mean? And he gonna put some bass in his voice when he tells us about it. You know what I mean? But he was a great guy. He was very passionate about the game of baseball, which in turn made us passionate about the game of baseball. It was just a wonderful experience.
So didn't I have to take my belt off on you one time?
You almost did, Coach. You almost did. I believe you wanted to. It was yeah. We'll get to that though. Yeah,
Oh, we'll get to that. Yeah, we ain't talking about that though. We can't talk about that. But you almost got the first whooping out of the history.
Yeah. I almost got the first out of many to come. You know what I mean? So yeah, yes. You know, Coach, as I reflect, on the years I played, we had so much talent. We had guys from just playing different areas of the Chicago land, and it was great. So much talent, man. The caliber of players. For me myself to come across, it was at first it was a little intimidating. You know what I mean? But then everything gelled because that's how you wanted it to be. You saw talent in us, and you put that together. You put all of that together, man. And let me tell you, we bonded as a team. We bonded on the field. We bonded off the field. It was a wonderful experience. Just a wonderful experience.
And today they got this travel ball stuff. But back then we was doing tournament ball.
We were doing tournament ball.
Everybody that was on our team, including those that was on the bench, could have started for the other teams that we was playing.
Absolutely. We had that much talent. We had that much. I remember the guys, just to name a few, with Nate Moore, he was just an incredible hitter. Nate and I played high school ball together and went on to the championship, won the championship, the Chicago City Championship together. We had Maurice McLean was one of the best catchers I've ever come across. Nate was my catcher also in high school, but Maurice taught Nate just so many facets of the game, which in turn helped Nate and I to work together greatly in high school. Quincy and I played a little league ball together as well. This guy was a vacuum cleaner, man. He can field, he can hit, he can pitch, great ball player. And as well as Nate Benson. Now, Nate Benson threw so hard as little leaguers, you get some guys throwing hard, but Nate was a smart pitcher as well. I threw pretty hard, but Nate threw hard. Nate threw very hard, and he would back your butt up off the plate if he thought you was taking some of, most of his plate. We had other guys like Terrell Hill, Michael Pettis. We had great ball players. We had some great ball players. Yeah.
And Nate Benson was actually the first draft pick that I ever coached.
Is that right?
Program.
Yeah, that's right. Sure was. That's right.
I think he was. I think he was off the top of my head, maybe a 10th round pick by the New York Mets.
The Mets, yeah, by the Mets, man. Yeah, and great. You know what? And with that, these guys can play baseball, but they were great off the field as well. And that's what I appreciated too, because it was fun hanging out with them. Me and Nate and I hung out all the time. Maurice and I hung out. Quincy and I, you know how the thing, you know how it was, man. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
I had to
great.
watch y'all road trips because y'all got together and covered for each other on the road trips now.
Yeah, absolutely we did. Absolutely we did. Absolutely.
Y'all thought y'all was going to outsmart Coach, but I was always 2 steps ahead of y'all on the road trips.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I had a radar. Y'all thought y'all was sneaking out the back door, and that was Coach Mayden standing right there in the back door.
It was like, how did he know? Somebody must have tipped him off or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah. It was a wonderful experience. Like you said, most of us had never traveled outside of Chicago playing baseball. We had never done that, and to come across these tournaments. I mean, Chillicothe, Ohio, Dayton. I believe we played some games in Michigan as well. I believe that.
You name it, we did it.
Yeah. I remember now. What I do remember, Ken Griffey Jr. was there, along with Cincinnati. What was that? Cincinnati, yeah. And was Pete Rose's son was there also, right?
Pete Rose's son, yeah.
Yeah, he was there. And so to see these future Hall of Famers, Ken Griffey, I remember him hitting one off the straight away center field off the building. I'm like, oh my God, you know what I mean?
And 16.
16. There was the intimidating factor right there. That right there, you know what I mean? But these guys were ready to play. They had all kind of ground bases as far as making even, let alone a college team making the major league. So it was great. It was wonderful, man, just to get away, and not play. And some of the fields we played on in Chicago, they were rough, man. You had to really know your stuff, you know what I mean, and know how to field the baseball, and to go on and play on some really, really nice fields, some really groomed fields. It felt good. It made you feel good about your game of playing baseball. You know what I mean? And so, it was much appreciated. Much appreciated. Yeah.
I remember when we were in a tournament in Toledo, Ohio. One of the guys on the team was called Bradshaw. I don't get that to this day. He stood at the edge of the field in Toledo, Ohio, and he just looked around and said, "Wow, I don't believe this. I'm out of state playing baseball."
Yeah. Bradshaw played with us, played with Nate, myself, Quincy, and over at Southeast, and we brought Bradshaw. Bradshaw came over to South. Yeah, absolutely. What an excellent ball player too. Yeah, Carl Bradshaw. Wow.